Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday, fun day, or at least I hope it's a fun one for you, whatever you're doing. Thanks for watching, whether it's now, later, whenever. Appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Gonna go through the Minnesota Vikings schedule finally. Probably should have done that a little sooner, but better late than never. And then I'm going to be doing an astrology prediction on the Celtics versus Dallas Mavericks for game 2 of the NBA Finals. Yeah, so actually I'm probably going to flip-flop though. I'm going to do the prediction first, and then I'm going to go through the Vikings schedule because the game tonight is going to start in like a half hour. So I'm going to do that first and then go through the Viking schedule and whatever else comes along. So thanks again for joining. Appreciate you. And then we'll dive right in. And then too, just going to touch on the last prediction that I did. Angel, how you doing? Thanks for joining. We all have our wings now. We're very, very good. Peace to you, whether you're celebrating now, later. But yeah, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So the last prediction that I did on my last video was the Minnesota Timberwolves versus Dallas Mavericks. And that was probably my worst prediction to date. I said the game was probably going to be a close one. And I had Minnesota winning, and it couldn't have been further from what happened. I went back in the chart, and some things that I overlooked were like glaringly obvious to me. The main thing being that the Dallas Mavericks had the assistance of the two benefic planets, that being Jupiter and Venus, helping them out. And yeah, it was pretty much a complete blowout. Dallas domination from the get-go. So Minnesota Timberwolves, they wanted to extend that series. Well, too bad, so sad, because they didn't show up. And what did they lose by here? I wrote it down in my nerd notes. Let me go back. So I had the Wolves winning. Like I said, I had them winning by 1 to 6 points. I had it being a close game. It was not a close game at all. Like I said, from the jump, Dallas had it in the bag. Luka pretty much making every three possible. And then the final score was Mavericks 124, Wolves 103. So wasn't close. And I believe at a certain point in the game, the Wolves were down by like 40 points. So just a complete abomination on the Timberwolves' part. And domination by the Dallas Mavericks. So onward and upward. It happens, but I was pissed about that. I was pissed that I missed some things that were like glaringly obvious to me, but Bob, how you doing? Yes, all is well over here. Thank you. Hopefully on your end as well. Super confident the Vikings will win week 1, whether it's Sam or JJ. Yes, we shall see. And I do have that written down. I got some W's and I got some L's here for the Vikings. So yeah, I will definitely go through that. But I'm going to flip-flop, and I'm going to do the prediction first. But when I was going through the Viking schedule, too, I just kind of chuckled to myself because it looked kind of similar to years past, let us say. But definitely there's new energy, with the Vikings. Fingers crossed. So if we could only get rid of that seal clapping, I'm going to work on that for the collective. But, yeah. And then it'll be interesting to see who starts the season. I mean, right now, probably Sam Darnold, right? But if Sam shits the bed, then JJ, get on out there. Get on out there, kid. Go show them what you've got, all right? So I'm hoping it works well, obviously, because I'm a Vikings fan. And it was about time that they got a new quarterback, right? It was time. Anybody that knows me, that knows how I feel about that. So thanks, Angel. Yes, I am having a good weekend. The only bummer is that it's almost over. That's the only buzzkill there. Yes, you as well. I appreciate that. Thank you. Did I count them right? Wait a minute. I'll go through this. Hold on. Okay, I counted them right. I was like, wait a minute, because I feel like you have an extra game there. Or am I wrong? Let me pull up the schedule, right? Week 18. Did I miss a game? Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to have to go through the whole thing again. Well, I don't want to spoiler alert it, but you're pretty close to what I have written down. What did I miss here? Oh, I think I missed. Oh, I think. Wait a minute. What did I miss here? Let me reference my notes. Oh my gosh, I missed 2 games. I missed the last 2 weeks. What the hell? Well, whatever. I'll go through it. So, always something, I swear. So yeah, let me pull up the chart for tonight's game. I'm gonna go through that quickly. Well, quickly, because here's another toughie. The finals, the NBA finals. I did the Timberwolves series, and I was 2 for 3 on those 5 games. So bad, but they've been really difficult, very challenging, and this chart is the same. It's also extremely challenging. So let me pull it up here, and then I'm going to go through it and see what I can come up with. So this is for, like I said, for Boston versus Dallas, game 2. And Boston won. They won game 1 by quite a bit. Let's see, what was the end score? I was actually looking up the head coach's sign for Boston just because I was curious. He is a Cancer, and he's very young, only 35. The Boston Celtics head coach. So let me see. Aha. What was the score? Of course, they're not going to tell me straight up. Come on, Google, help a girl out here. Yeah, okay, so Boston won game 1, 107 to 89. I actually wanted to watch that game, but I didn't watch any of it. But hey, it happens. So for tonight, there's like so much good and bad for both teams that it's just like, okay, let's see what happens here. So Boston, they're going to be represented by Jupiter tonight. So Jupiter is over in the sign of Gemini over here, and Jupiter is in what it's called detriment in Gemini, so it doesn't feel comfortable there. Now, for Boston, that bodes well for them because Jupiter is our greater benefic planet. The 2 good planets, air quotes, are Jupiter and Venus, and Jupiter is the greater one. So Boston has that on their side for this evening. But the one thing I don't like for them is that Jupiter being in Gemini, again, it's not comfortable there because Jupiter normally rules Sagittarius, and it's in the sign directly opposite of that, being in Gemini. So it's like good for Boston that they're represented by this lucky planet. It expands everything. It can bring blessings a lot of the time. It's Jupiter has to do with like higher learning as well. So for Boston, that looks good. Plus they're playing at home, which is beneficial usually, unless you're the Minnesota Timberwolves. Still bitter by that last game. But and then for Dallas this evening, they're going to be represented by Mercury. Mercury's right over here. Now, for Dallas, Mercury being in Gemini, that bodes very, very well because Mercury rules the signs Gemini and Virgo. And with Mercury being in Gemini, that bodes well for Dallas this evening. Now, I also want to look at the moon. The moon is over here in Leo. So the moon being in Leo, it's an important game. It's NBA Finals. Leo is a very expressive sign. It rules a lot of things in entertainment. A lot of entertainers have planets in Leo. So with the moon in this like expressive fire sign tonight, the game and the people might be extra feisty and fiery, and maybe there'll be some extra celebrities in the house tonight as well too. Might see that. What's this? Would you say Jordan Addison over or under 100 yards? That's really hard just because we don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be. But if I had to just pick right now, I'd say over. Over. I could easily see him for some reason outshining Justin Jefferson, even though Justin Jefferson just got that bag. I want to come back to that. I'll star that though. Summerholm, thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Good to see you. So another thing that I look at with the game for this evening for Boston and Dallas. Now, again, Boston is Jupiter over in the sign of Gemini over here. And then Dallas is Mercury, also in the sign of Gemini. And those 2 things right there. Dallas has a little bit of an upper hand just because their planet is in a sign that it rules, because Mercury naturally rules Gemini. Now, the moon being over here in Leo, I'm going to look at what the moon is doing with Jupiter. Now, the moon is in good communication with Jupiter, so that bodes well for Boston. I like that. But it also is in not bad communication with Dallas either. So right there, it's like straight away, I'm like, okay, this game, looking at the chart right now, I would expect this game to be a lot closer than the previous one. I didn't watch any of it, but with the final score being, it was 120 or what was it again? Let me look. Celtics had 107, Mavs had 89. So a little bit of a blowout there. I do suspect that this game will be closer. Now, for Dallas, more that I don't like for them is the fact that their fifth house of games is ruled by the planets Mars and Pluto. And their 10th house of how they're going to show out to the public this evening is ruled by Mars. Now, what I don't like for them is the fact that Mars, how they're going to show out to the public tonight, this being Dallas, is in not the best communication with the moon. It's in what's called a square. So that's tension there. There is energy there. So I expect the game to be closer this evening. But in terms of yes or no, like, will they win this game? If you're just looking at that yes or no, that would be no. But that's just that one thing. Now, Pluto is the co-ruler of how Dallas is going to play this game tonight. And Pluto is over here in the sign of Aquarius, directly opposing the moon, which again, if you have to go with a yes or no, will Dallas win the game? Just by looking at that, that would be oppositions are no. So I don't like that. Also, not to mention for Dallas, that how they play the game and how they show out to the public, Mars and Pluto, those two planets that represent that for them, those two planets are also in a square. So there's energy there, but there's tension. It's not harmonious energy. It's kind of like, I feel like Dallas is going to have to be extra scrappy tonight to keep it close. Now, back to Boston. Not only are they ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is in a sign that it does not feel comfortable with, the one thing for Boston that I like is that the moon is in really nice harmonious energy with Jupiter. Now, it's in what's called a sextile, which is good communication, and it's only apart by about 1 degree. So I do think that, again, this game is going to be a lot closer than the previous one. And for Boston, what I don't like for them is that their fifth house of games is ruled by Venus, and also their 10th house of how they show out to the public tonight is also ruled by Venus. And Venus is very, very close to the sun. It's what's called combust. I've talked about this before. It's like, if you stare into the sun, you're going to get blinded. If you get too close to something really, really hot, you're going to get burned. Now, for Boston, that's not good. But the one positive thing about that is that Venus is moving away from the sun. So it's moving away. It's like trying to walk away from the hotness of the sun. It's not going into the sun anymore. So I like that for Boston. But what I don't like for Boston is the fact that Venus and the sun are in the Dallas Mavericks' first house as well. And not to mention that the sun is the lord of the moon because the moon is in Leo. So there's, again, some good and bad for both of these teams. Now, I don't have a solid answer from looking at those things because, again, there's yes and there's no for both. But what I really, really don't like for Dallas is that the moon is opposing how they play this game tonight. And it's also in a square with how they're going to show up to the public. So I don't like that for them. But Megan, how you doing? I know it's been a minute. How are you? The Vikings play your Seahawks, I believe, in week. What is it? You probably already even need to. I don't need to tell you. You already know. Week 16. December 22nd, Vikings are going to be at Seattle. So that's going to be exciting. Hope you're well. Thanks for stopping in. It's good to see you. Hope things are good for you and everything going on in your life is just hunky-dory. But yes, good to see you. So anywho's, but yeah, always good to see you, Megan. Thanks for dropping in. Again, I don't have a solid answer for either of these teams tonight, that being Boston and Dallas. Now, the other thing that I look at with charts when I don't have a solid answer is the part of fortune. The part of fortune is right over here in the final degrees of Capricorn. And the part of fortune isn't doing anything really with Mars. It's in like a very loose trine, which is good. So for Dallas, that's good for their gameplay. And then the part of fortune isn't doing anything with Jupiter, that being Boston. The part of fortune is also not doing anything with Mercury. So it's like, okay, what else can I look at here with the chart? Oh, nice. Oh, you're working now? Okay. Enjoying a 3-day long weekend and you're working now. What do you mean? How is it weekend and you're working? Wait, I'm confused. How does that work? Wait a minute. Does that mean you get tomorrow off? Or wait, is it already tomorrow? It's already tomorrow. You had a 3-day weekend and you're working now. I think that's how it works, right? With the time change and the time adjustment, right? You're ahead of us, I believe, right? Yeah. I need to go to Australia someday. Astrologically speaking, I have some really good like lines that run through Australia for me. So, but hell yeah, to a long weekend. I feel like everybody should have a long weekend. I feel like astrologically, nobody should work Mondays at all. And I think if anything, if there has to be like a 5-day work week, it should be Tuesday, which is Mars Day, most productive day of the week, right? Through Saturday. And Saturday is ruled by Saturn, which is like cold, dry. You should be doing your chores and stuff anyway. So, and then Sunday and Monday are ruled by the sun and the moon. So I don't know, but that's just my opinion. But love a long weekend. And then it's hard to go back once the weekend's over. Tribe, how you doing? I know the Wolves could have done better. I know. Other than that, sorry performance. Yeah, sorry performance by Dallas in game 1. I didn't watch any of it, but I saw the final score. I do think tonight it will be closer. And I did mention a little bit earlier, looking at the chart too, that I think Dallas is going to be a little extra scrappy tonight. And it's just like, there's so much good and bad for both here. It's like I'm making a planetary pregame prediction like as we speak. So I have to like talk my way through it, but I'm still better at the Timberwolves and it was just like for the Timberwolves for game 5, it was just abundantly clear from tip off that they were going to lose that game. It's just like, it was a sad performance. Overall, really great season for the Wolves. Happy about it. We can dive deeper into that later on too, just about what they should do in the off season. But overall, great season for the Wolves, and it was very exciting. But oh man, that was just, I don't remember who said it on the broadcast. I think it might have been like Charles Barkley, but like when Anthony Edwards kind of said, they didn't want to get swept. Okay, they avoided getting swept. And then like that was enough for them. Like they were like good with that. So, and that's kind of what it seemed like too. So bummer the way it ended, but overall good season. Oh, okay. Oh, you work with charity that deals with migraines. Okay. Today is Monday. I have the 3-day weekend. And as I work from home, I'm doing, nice. Very, very good. Yeah. I love working remotely and that's awesome. I knock on wood. I've only had one migraine in my life, but it was like the worst thing ever. So I totally feel for people that have to suffer with migraines on like a daily basis or on a regular basis. That's awful. So that's really awesome. Good for you. That's great. Wow, you're the leader of a team of 3,900 all around the country. Good for you, boss. Woohoo! You know what you're doing. Good worker. I want to work with you. Oh, that's amazing. Wow, and you're leader of 300 volunteers. That's good for you. That's so great. That's awesome. I would like to look at your chart too. Like, what do you got going in there? Do you have any Virgo placements or like Capricorn in your chart? Like Capricorn being like a leader, Virgo being very like go with the flow, very analytical, making lists too, organizational skills. So, or Gemini too, for that matter. Will there be a technical foul tonight? Well, it was funny because I kind of like called that out in one of the I don't remember. I think it was game 3 or game 4 for the Wolves Mavs series when Finch got a technical. I did talk about how there could be some like heated exchanges. I think if anything, I think the technical foul would come from uh I'm just looking at Mars actually right over here because Mars is anger, and disruption, along with Uranus too. My first thought was Dallas getting a technical foul potentially, but it's really, if there is a technical foul tonight, I will go back to that and try to see like what spoke on that. But potentially, especially with the moon in Leo squaring Mars, there could be some heated tension. And then on the flip side, Mars, it can represent anger, amongst other things. It's also in Boston's fourth house. So, their fans getting unruly, maybe poking at one of Dallas's players too, maybe being the antagonist, potentially a fan being an antagonist for Dallas this evening. I could see that potentially. Something to watch out for. That's a really good question. I like it. Thank you. Oh man. Oh no. Awful. What does that mean? Oh, you're Sag. You have dominant placements in Sagittarius, or that's your sun sign? Do you know what your entire sign is? Like, do you know what your rising sign is? Or your moon sign or Mercury? But yeah, Sagittarius too, ruled by Jupiter, which is all about expanding too and higher learning and traveling too as well. So yeah, it's interesting too. If you have Sag placement, you're in charge of a big group of people. So that's very cool. Travelers, adventurers too, and a fire sign too. I like it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I would love to see it. Yeah. I actually saw I saw 2 musicians on Friday too. I went and I saw Buddy Guy play and Samantha Fish. If either of anyone out there, if you're not listening to either one of those two, they're absolutely amazing. That was my first time ever seeing either of them, but my first time also hearing music by Samantha Fish. And I actually said at the show, like, I would love to look at her birth chart. Amazing guitarist. Like, I was blown away. Like, Buddy Guy is also amazing too. He's like 87 years old and is still touring and playing the guitar. But yeah, I always want to look at the astrology chart too, just to see how things play out. So yeah, that would be awesome. Should do that. Oh, okay. So your sun sign. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good place to start. Yeah. And the reason why I ask is because, like, if this was your chart that we're looking at, for example, whatever planet rules your first house, that is your chart ruler. So actually, this person, whoever is born in Boston tonight at 7 p.m., this is going to be their chart. So they're a Sagittarius rising. So they're ruled by Jupiter over here in Gemini. So that's their ruling planet. So even though they're a sun in Gemini, they also have their rising sign in Gemini. So this person this evening, they're going to have so many planets in Gemini. So they're just going to be like probably good communicator, maybe have like 2 sides to them. Maybe there's going to be a lot of duality in their life because Gemini is the sign of the twins, 2 signs, dual. Yeah, so they maybe, I don't know. I mean, you could dive way deep too. They could have a career working with other people because their 10th house of career is over here in the 7th house of relationships with others. Their home might be very, very important to them, like really finding like roots where, and like stabilizing their place where they live as well, because their north node is in their 4th house of home. This person might also have like a bittersweet like love-hate relationship with where they come from. Also, they might have a challenging relationship with their father as well, because Mars is in the fourth house, which represents your father figure, again, where you come from as well. So, and this person too has a potential to have a huge transformations with what they own, in their money, because Pluto is over here in their second house of money as well. Potentially it could come from a sibling as well. I mean, but anywho, so if we were breaking down the chart of the person born tonight, we could go into that. And also they're going to have a Leo moon, very expressive, maybe very dramatic, with how they express their emotions as well. Yeah. So anywho, so just a little example there. Alrighty. Oh my gosh, it's a small, shows what I know. Holy shit, that sucks. Ugh, man. I mean, I don't know I don't know a lot about it, obviously, and I don't know the rules of like cannabis in Australia, but is cannabis allowed there? Like, can you use that to help prevent migraine attacks or help alleviate symptoms, maybe? I'm just curious, as somebody that worked with medical cannabis for many years, so I'm just curious about that. But man, well, I'm glad it's a small one. So here's to it going away too. Sorry you have to deal with that. Yeah, it's always good to see Megan. Too evil, what's going on? You get a round of applause. No steel clapping. You know how I feel about that. I actually mentioned at the beginning of this that we got to get that to stop, but it's all in jest. I have to get the seal sounder ready for when I see that in the chat. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Everybody saying hey. Yeah, it's good to see everybody. Again, I hope everybody's having a nice Sunday or Monday, wherever you are. That sounds so much like me, but I'm not a Gemini. Interesting. Maybe you we all have every zodiac sign like within us, because we have each sign represents something in our life. So maybe for you, like maybe your career lands in the sign of Gemini or something like that. Or maybe Mercury, which is the planet that rules Gemini, maybe that is heavily aspected in your chart as well, too. That's why, if you can, I would suggest getting a personal chart reading, because it can make things a lot more, clear. Or, maybe Virgo and Gemini play part in your life and play a big part in your chart too. And I only say that just because, you're a leader of like so many people, and that takes skill to be able to organize and, be the leader of all those people. And also I say Capricorn too, or any like cardinal placement, like Aries, Libra, Capricorn, just because again, they're cardinal and they normally lead. So maybe something like that too, because like you're the leader of all of them as well. So still illegal, but people are working to get okay, that's good. Well, I hope it gets passed for at least medicinal use. That'd be good. All right. My type of migraine. Oh shit. I don't even know how to say that. Hemiplegic migraine. Ugh. Well, thanks for joining us. I can only imagine that, screens and stuff like that, Right. Yeah, I'm all about it for sure, as many of you already know. But yeah, I hope that passes soon, because we don't have to like go off on that, but it was originally used for medicinal purposes. Okay, it's a plant. So, but yeah, onwards with the times. So hopefully everybody comes around. And Minnesota too just like legalized, what was it? It was just this last year, so it hasn't even been a year yet, but we've had it medicinal here for I think since like 2017, something like that. I could be way off, but yeah. Oh, you have all your screens on dark. Nice. Yeah, I use like the dark mode or the night mode on pretty much everything. I just like the way that it looks more like my phone and stuff like that. So yeah, good idea. All of those things. I don't have to tell you that, obviously. All right, peeps. I am gonna make a prediction just because it's game time actually right now. I guess tip off could be a little bit later, but this is so tough, because for Boston, I feel like they have the upper hand, especially being ruled by the greater benefic planet Jupiter. but I just don't like the fact that Jupiter is in Gemini and it's the sign of its detriment. It doesn't bode well there. And for Dallas, they are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is in Gemini, and Mercury rules Gemini. So, man. But for the game this evening, I don't like the fact that Boston, their game is ruled by Venus, and Venus is so close to the sun, but she's moving away from the sun. Away from the sun. So, all right, peeps. But the moon opposing Pluto, which is Dallas's game, and then the moon squaring Mars again, which is Dallas's game. I don't like that for them. I don't like it. I don't like it. Man. That's okay. That is totally okay. Hey, and he's not on the Vikings anymore, right? So that thorn is out of my side as a Vikings fan. Like, I mean, for your sake, Megan, I hope he thrives in Atlanta, okay? And I still think, I mean, he has the best agent in the league. He got paid again, so he figured something out. He really did. Okay, so you got to admire that, being able to get the bank. But I am really glad he's not the Vikings quarterback anymore. That experiment is done and dusted. Goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. All right. Well, I am going to say I'm trying to redeem myself too, just because my last prediction was so bad. Just like so bad. I'm trying not to make the same mistakes that I made before. I am going to pick Boston this evening. I think it's going to be a close one. And I think they're gonna have a tougher time with Dallas tonight. I do think Dallas is gonna keep it a lot closer than the last game. I might actually try to watch some of the game tonight. And I'm only basing that off of because the moon is in what's called, again, a sextile with Jupiter. Sorry, my dog's barking. I think she's barking at her own shadow over there. Okay. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to say Boston this evening, and I'm going to go pretty close. Like, man, I could see like 1 or 2 points. I've said that before. I've said that on the last one. But I say that again because Jupiter, the greater benefic planet, even though it's in a sign that it doesn't feel comfortable in, it's getting support from the moon. And then Boston's game, again, is represented by Venus. Venus is very, very close to the sun. My dog has the zoomies right now. I don't know if you can hear her. She's running back and forth right now. Sorry, it's making me laugh. And then, so I say that. Now, where I could see Dallas pulling it off is because their planet, Mercury, is in the sign that it rolls, Gemini. All right. But I just really don't like the moon opposing Pluto for Dallas. And I don't like the fact that Pluto and Mars are squaring each other for Dallas because Pluto and Mars represent how they show out to the public tonight and also their gameplay. Now, for Boston, how they show out to the public tonight and their game, again, Venus is very, very close to the sun. So she's hot. All right. But she's moving away. All right. So I'm going with Boston. Again, I do think it's going to be closer affair than before. And as far as technical foul goes, potentially coming from Dallas, but I really like that question. So we'll see what happens. And let's see how it pans out. And like I always say, I will come back to the chart later and check my answers. But thanks again for listening for that, everybody. And yeah, we'll see how it pans out. Alrighty. That's funny. Who's the quarterback now for the Vikings? Well, we drafted JJ McCarthy and then we picked up Sam Darnold. So it's those two battling it out. All right. Oh, nice. Megan, we're on the same page. I hope we're right. And then, yeah, for me, for me as just an NBA fan, I like Boston because Kevin Garnett, greatest Timberwolves player of all time, went to Boston and got a championship there. But then again, as a Timberwolves fan, Dallas beat the shit out of the Timberwolves this year. So if Dallas ends up winning, it looks better for the Timberwolves. So that's where my like fan mind goes. But yeah, this was a tough one. Again, just with the chart, just because there was good and bad for both teams. So I'll be interested to see, in fact, how it plays out. So I'm hoping to watch a little bit of it tonight. 3-point stops. I like that. Yeah. I could see that happening too. Like 1 to 3 points, 1 to 2 points. And again, because Jupiter is at 3 degrees of Gemini and the moon is at 2 degrees. And the moon moves faster than Jupiter does. The moon is the fastest mover here. So the moon is moving towards a sextile, which is good communication with Jupiter. So it's 60 degrees apart. That's a sextile. So that's why it could be like a tight margin there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she simmered down. Now she's sitting on the sofa. So she just had her dinner. So anytime after she eats a meal, it's like, all right, let's zoom around now. Good to see you too, Megan. Yes. So glad you took JJ from us. I did not. Oh, okay. Because you guys have I like your quarterback in Seattle. And I did think about that because I'll just tell you too, I'm gonna go through the Viking schedule. We'll do that next. I have the Vikings losing at Seattle. And for some reason I missed 2 freaking games. So I'm gonna go back to the schedule and go through it and write it down. It's like, and I can't even blame Mercury retrograde right now for that. So I'm going to go through the Vikings schedule now. All right, take that down because we are done with that. I haven't watched NBA since, Seattle lost the Sonics, the Supersonics. Yeah. And I wish I could watch more Timberwolves games because I don't have the channel that shows them. So I got lucky this year being able to watch some Wolves games because they made it to the finals. So they were on some bigger networks, but I do enjoy some basketball. Yeah. All right. Oh, Clean Music Lover. What's up? Yep. You got Boston winning. Okay. I think you just joined, but dude, I'm still so bitter about the last game. And, just going back, it's because Dallas, and I'm talking about Dallas and the Timberwolves on game 5, because Dallas had Venus and Jupiter helping them out. Like, hello. So no wonder it was a blowout. Like, and Dallas had the game from the tip off, right? It's just like, hello. And I said, it's going to be a close one with the Wolves winning. No, wrong. But yeah, I'm taking Boston tonight in a close one. Yeah. Mercury, like you said, is combust and also, but yeah, anyway, is combust. But for Boston tonight, they're ruled by Jupiter, the way I'm reading the chart, and Jupiter's in its detriment in Gemini, and it's in Gemini right now. And then Mercury is the ruler of Dallas, and Mercury is in Gemini, which, as we know, Mercury rules Gemini. So right there. But for Dallas, I did not like that the moon is opposite Pluto, which is the co-ruler of their game. And then it's square Mars, which is the co-ruler of their game and how they show up to the public tonight. Not to mention, for Dallas, Pluto and Mars are squaring each other. So, yeah, I think it's going to be close. And again, I do think Dallas is going to be more scrappier tonight and keep it a little bit more close. And I know Kyrie had heard that he just got booed like heavily. So I think he'll maybe be in like a little bit of a better place, but yeah. Still ended up picking Boston tonight, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Those combustions get too close. Yeah. Oh yeah, Geno Smith. I like Geno Smith a lot. Sam Howell, I'm not familiar, but I like Geno Smith a lot. So, and is Pete Carroll done now? Did he retire, or is he still the coach? I don't know why I feel like he retired, but you'll definitely let me know. But I like Pete Carroll too. All right. So for the Vikings, here we go. Hi. Hi. Are you barking at yourself over there? All right. So, all right. Here we go, people. All right. I'm going to follow along with my nerd notes because I definitely missed something. Hello. Hello. Are you telling everybody hello? She must be telling everybody hello. All right. She's telling you guys hello. All right. So, week 1, Minnesota Vikings. Here we go. They're at New York. I have them winning that game. Okay. And people, I didn't put a lot of thought in this. You know, I went through the schedule and I did W or L, like the first thing that came to mind. And, you know, because it's the preseason. This is just what everybody does. And normally I do this a lot earlier, but better late than never. Alrighty. Yeah, he seems really, really cool and like stepping it up too. And he just kind of seems like the quarterback I would want for like my favorite team. So, I mean, and he's showing out. So good on him. He was fired, but okay, but he's still involved at the front office. All right. Good to know. Thank you. All right, so Viking season, people, here we go. New York, I have them winning. Now, week 2, they're going to host the 49ers. Now, I gave the Vikings a W with a question mark, okay? Now, I will be very, very nice to them, and I will circle the W. I'm not highly confident in that, per se, but we don't have Kyle Shanahan's little baby angel, Kirk Cousins, anymore. So it takes a little bit of the tension away. But I'm throwing him a bone, okay? No pun intended with the dog over here. But, all right, we're going to give him the W for week 2. Now, week 3, Minnesota will host the Houston Texans, y'all. All right. And I mentioned this before that I'm starting to like Houston even more because not only is Case Keenum on the Houston Texans, but now Stephon Diggs is with Houston as well, both former Minnesota Vikings, and also the stars of the greatest play of all time for Minnesota, that being the Minneapolis Miracle. So, with all that said, I have the Vikings losing, okay, versus the Texans. And then after that, on September 29th, the Vikings are going to travel to the evil to the east and face none other than the evil to the east themselves, the Green Bay Packers. I also have them losing, all right, in week 4. So, starting off the season, I have the Vikings going even Steven, all right, 2 for 2. Now, week 5, the Vikings are going to host the New York Jets. I gave them a W for that, all right, gave them a win. Now, week 6, Vikings have a very early bye. I don't actually mind that as a fan because I feel like, you know, bye weeks, we understand. They need their rest. They need the R&R. But it's like, I don't know. Just personally, as a fan, again, let's just get it done and over with, okay? Also, I do want to touch on something that I just thought of with the Vikings. I'm going to write it down. So I will come back to it. It has something to do with what they were. Okay. All right. So week 6 is the bye. Let me come back to the chat. Am I missing anything? Woo. What? Oh, okay. Oh, I know. I could easily see it being the Niners back in for sure. I could easily see that happening. Like I'm being nice to them here. See, everybody, I can be nice to Minnesota. Everybody says I'm mean all the time to the team, but Texans, I agree with you. Packers, I agree. I know, me too, because I don't like them either. The evil to the east, can't stand them. But all right, Vikes on that one. All right, and then TD, very good. Cheers. Okay, I don't have any kids, so I don't think I fall under that category. I don't have any kids, but appreciate it. Thank you. And I like seeing people from Twitch come in. And do you have a cat as your picture or a dog? I like that. I can't see it. Okay. All right, Soda. As long as we're on the bye week right now, like, let's just talk about it because yes, the white uniforms, I agree with you completely. I have never been a fan of like whiteouts and stuff like that. I just think it's another way for ownership to make money and sell merch. The Vikings colors are purple and gold. They're good colors. Like, why do you want to run away from that? Like, what? What is that? Like, puke. Okay? Come up with something more creative. It's like, oh, all white uniform. What? Boring, boring, bland. Okay? Bland, boring. How about all purple? Or how about it would have been really cool, maybe like all gold with like purple lettering or something. Like, why are you running away from your colors? What is that? And seriously, I am convinced it is just a way for them to have the stadiums and the arenas look more full on camera. And it's seriously just another way for them to make money. People, stop falling for it. And it's just like blah. Immediately, I was just like, why did they even do this? Like, why? No, stupid. And now watch too. They'll blow that game versus the Bears too. But we'll get to that. But I don't like them either. So yeah, we talked about it, and that's just like our opinion, man, right? But I mean, really, it's just kind of boring. Like, I get you maybe want to have some fun uniforms for like Monday night, and this is so trivial too that we're just bitching about this, or that I'm bitching about it. But come on, really? That's what you're gonna give us? Okay. They should let the fans like decide too. So anyway, just our opinion, man. The only thing that Packers gave us is our GM. Well, there you go. There you go. And for the Vikings, we got Favre for a couple of years. So there we go. Oh, and two, actually, we got Aaron Jones now. So all right. I do think that Aaron Jones still has some gas in the tank. So, all right. I think that was a good snag for Minnesota. Oh, you have a cat? I love animals. I love them. Yeah. I was wondering if that was the Polito or Paul 1-2. Pole 1-2. Oh, it's a kitty. Yeah, it's a kitty. I love the kitties. Yeah, I want to have a cat too. What's your cat's name? I love cats. Definitely, if your cat, whatever your cat likes, whether it be being held, being petted a little bit, being left alone, do whatever your cat likes for me. Okay. All right. I love the animals. I really do. All the animal friends. They're the best. I have white jerseys, but destroy them. And at $600 Australian, what is your guys' current currency over there? I don't wear them now. And I mean, that's a good point too. I was going to make mention, like, they show stains and stuff. Like, if you get it dirty right away, right? Or if like you're drinking whatever you're drinking, a pop or some coffee or whatever, you accidentally dribble on yourself, stain. Okay. Just like, no. And I say that as somebody wearing a predominantly white t-shirt, but I mean, seriously, come on. Like, they could have done something so much cooler. I feel like I remember that. Weren't they like neon green? Wasn't it like neon green with like socks and stuff? That was very cool. I liked that. I love the color green. But anyway, yes. Okay, I agree. I feel like I remember that, and I wish the Vikings could do something cool like that. But again, I am partial to Seattle's colors. They're the same as the Timberwolves colors too, which is cool. Kevin, what's going on? The talisman has arrived. Yes, I am here. No, Kirk, no problem. That's right. Pizza Ranch boy, he's done. Goodbye. See you later. With all the salary cap savings, the future is nice. Well, they just spent all that money on Justin Jefferson, but you know, it's the promise of a new day, just like Paula Abdul saying, I like Paula, in 1991. Straight up, okay? I like that song a lot. But yes, good to see you, Kevin. I hope you're doing well. So you just joined at a perfect time. I was going through this Viking schedule, and we're on week 6, which is the bye. And then I just started rambling about how the new white uniforms for the Monday night game versus the Bears or at the Bears, whatever. Bleh. Boring. Bland. Come on. Need something better than that. Leo. Oh, that's a perfect name for a cat. I love that. Yeah. And two, partial, because I'm a Leo rising. So, oh, that's very nice. Oh, it's dollar. Okay. All right. Australian dollar. Or, yeah, Australian dollar. Okay. Very good. I'm learning. You know, I should know these things. I really should. I have to go to Australia someday. I do. Animals are the best. I concur. They're amazing. I love animals. I was out hanging out with a friend of mine this afternoon. We went for a walk and we saw all sorts of animals, including ducklings, little baby ducklings that were crossing the path. They're so cute. Yes. Oh, I love orange ones too. Oh my gosh, I love orange kitties. Oh, is he a fluffy orange one? All right, well, tell Leo hi. I love Leo. I don't know him, but I love him. All right. The jersey. Oh, okay. Nice. I swear they had green socks, or do they always wear those bright green socks? All right. I can sort of kind of see it just because the pictures are a little bit smaller, but all right. Highlighter green gives you a migraine. Ah, well, that's not good. Well, then for your sake, they better not do it. Meow. Very good. Oh, Leo. That's very sweet. Yes. Okay. And then speaking of cats, all right, here we go. Back to the Viking schedule. Week 7 versus Detroit Lions. All right. Motor City Kitties are in town. And I did give the Vikings a W there. Okay. I do think that that's going to be very challenging, but I gave them a W. Now, after week 7, starting in week 8, at least the wins and losses that I chose for the Vikings, starting on October 24th at 7:15 p.m. Central Time, I feel like this is when the Vikings may go on a little bit of a losing streak here. Okay, so Thursday night game at the LA Rams. I have them losing. Okay, all right. Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell reunited once again. I think it's gonna be a toughie. I have the Vikings losing that one. All right, on to week 9. Now, week 9, the Vikings are hosting the Colts. Now, the Colts are having some troubles, but not last year, but the year before, they didn't look that bad. And I actually have the Vikings. I put them as an L, a cursive L. All right. And then I did have a question mark next to it. Okay. Now, this might flip-flop when I gave the Vikings the W with the question mark versus San Francisco. And then maybe they actually win versus the Colts and then lose versus San Francisco. But I have them losing at home versus the Colts. Now, the terror train continues. Week 10, they are at the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right. And Jacksonville, as some of you may or may not know, they've been hovering around my number 2/number 3 team because I jumped on the sunshine wagon. All right. Trevor Lawrence. I like him as a player. Learn more about him. Seems like they're on the up and up. So I actually have the Vikings also losing at Jacksonville. That might be actually a victory, but all right. Okay, I believe that about the green. Well, then I hope they never wear it again. Okay? I hope they never wear it again. But I do like it. But it's a little much though. It's a little much. And actually too, my dog's leash is like a neon green. It's like reflective or whatever. So okay. I don't blame you. We'll get to the other Lions game, which is coming up. That's one of the ones that I missed, but spoiler alert, I'm going to pick them to lose at Detroit. So I think they might split with the Lions, but yep, the Rams, Vikings, I know. Yep, I got the Jags too. All right, so shall we continue? All right, the terror train continues for the Minnesota Vikings, at least in my opinion, when I'm looking at the schedule now. So week 11, they're at Tennessee. Oh, shock. I have them losing that game. Tennessee's been on the up and up. At Tennessee, the Vikings don't play them a lot. And we don't know because it's June right now and this is November, right? We don't know, but maybe there might be, okay, if this losing streak does actually come to fruition, and let's just say, for example, the Vikings have Sam Darnold, he has been starting. Okay, maybe around November is when, okay, let's put JJ McCarthy in there and see what happens. So we'll see, though. Much to speculate. All right, and let's carry on. Week 12. All right, at the Bears. Guess what, people? I have them losing that as well. So I have them losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row here. Okay, before the terror train stops when the Vikings come back home and they host the Arizona Cardinals in week 13. I have the Vikings winning that game. All right. And now Oh, December rolls around. All right, everybody's going to be excited for the holidays, doing all their shopping and whatnot. Even through screens, you can't watch it. Damn, girl, that's tough. Yeah, no green screens. Then don't be looking at, of course, any green screens. That's either way. Yeah, right. It's kind of either way. Yeah, let's go with the Titans on that one. Yep. I think the Bears. Yeah, and then with the Vikings, they they have trouble. They have trouble in Chicago. So that's what I'm saying with that. Now, all right, here we go. December rolls around, week 14. Guess who the Minnesota Vikings are going to host? None other than, unless there's an injury, Pizza Ranch Boy and the Atlanta Falcons are going to come to town. Yes. Yes, they are. And I have the Vikings winning that game. Okay. If Kirk is the quarterback at that point for the Falcons, I just I don't see Kirk like being like, "Oh, I'm going back to Minnesota, so I really got to show them." Like I don't see it. Like he doesn't care. He got paid. He doesn't care. Like we've all seen that, right? We saw it for what, 6 seasons? Okay? 6 seasons too many as Vikings fans? Like we saw that. Like he'll show up, smile his way, grit his way through, being tackled and whatnot. And I don't know. Maybe like Harrison Smith might, it might feel a little different to try to go after Pizza Ranch Boy, right? So I have the Vikings winning that one with the return of none other than Pizza Ranch Boy himself. So Vikes, if the Cards win, I will not be happy. Well, I hope for my sake and your sake that the Vikings end up winning. And I don't know. I think that stretch there for Minnesota, because they have all those away games besides the Colts, really, that's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough little stretch there for them. But, we'll see. Falcons to annoy Jade. Now watch too. Let's watch Kirk Cousins comes back and just absolutely like obliterates Minnesota. Like I would actually laugh at that point. I would laugh. It's just all comical. It is. And the thing with Kirk too, it's like I said this for years, right? He's not the worst quarterback ever. Like obviously he made it into the NFL. You play like the most important position in the NFL. Again, I think you have a very good agent, Mr. Cousins, but he laughs his way all the way to the bank. But I said year after year, Kirk Cousins is never going to take the Minnesota Vikings to the Super Bowl. They are never going to win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins under center. And I always said, prove me wrong, prove me wrong, prove me wrong. I'm waiting. And I was never proven wrong there. Quite the opposite. Because again, checking down when the season's on the line and you check down on a 4th and 8 when the pressure's on. Okay. When the pressure's on Pizza Boy, he flounders. Okay. And that's who he is as a microcosm, okay, of him as a quarterback. Yeah, he'll smile and answer all the questions. But when push comes to shove, okay, season's on the line, you have nothing else, you're going to check down on a 4th night. Okay. Ta-ta. Goodbye. Have fun, Atlanta. Okay? Have fun, Falcons, with that. All right. Yeah, he's just not. Yeah. Oh, no. Your brother likes him. Well, that's fine. He can like him, right? He can like him. I do like the bird, the actual bird, Cardinals. I am a fan of that, of the bird. But, I mean, as a team, like, whatever. It's like, I don't hate the Cardinals or anything. Like, Kyler Murray, well, you're going to get it under control, maybe. So, all right. Now, moving on. Week 15, Monday night game. Here we go. The all-white game. All right. I have Minnesota winning that one because they are at home and, it's no primetime Kirk we got to worry about anymore. But, however, these uniforms that I find deplorable that they made specifically for this game, that could come back to bite them as well. I feel like anytime there's a whiteout for the Vikings, they always shit the bed. I should go back and look at the games where they have played a whiteout and see how many times they've won. All right, Megan, here it comes. All right, week 16, December 22nd, the day before my birthday. Nobody cares. Okay, the Vikings are at Seattle. And like I said earlier, I have them losing that game. All right, there you go, Megan. I got them losing that game. And these are the 2 games that I missed. So I got to write them down here. Week 17, Vikings versus the Evil. Okay. And then week 18, TBD, time TBD, at Lions. Alrighty. So I missed those. I think it's because when I was looking at the schedule, I went into like the preseason games, which they have at the end of the schedule. So I missed those two actually. He did. He took him to the pizza bag for sure. Yeah, he did. Free deliveries for the rest of his life, right? No delivery charge. None of that. You don't got to tip anything. But yes, he did. Forget the piggy bank. It's the pizza bank. That's a funny one. I like that. Brian Flores will be licking his. Yeah, I have a feeling as well. And it's like, who else from the defense do the Vikings still have? That's just kind of why I'm like, well, Harrison Smith is still there, but like Kendricks is gone. Like, what's his face? Danielle Hunter is gone. So, I mean, whoever else is left, I'm sure they'll want to go after him a little bit. I mean, if I was the Vikings defensive player, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of like fun. I mean, it can still be jovial, like they're playing a game, but that might just be some extra like, oh, you used to play for us and now you don't. So I'm really going to show you what I got, something like that. So to be on the other side, but we'll be licking his chops the week Vikings play Pizza Ranch Boy and the Falcons. He's going to open up the playbook and let our defense run amok, much to the dismay of the Kirkaholics. Oh, for sure. And I feel like the Pizza Ranch Boy stands, like they're few and far between now. Like I used to hear, oh, Jade, you're so mean. You don't to put cooks together. It's like, okay, now a lot of them are now saying, well, good riddance, bye. It's like, oh, okay. Who's the mean ones now? But I mean, he's still gonna have his fans, right? The Kirk stands. They're still out there. And I will say this, they are quite loyal. The true ones that are ride or die, they're quite loyal. So I think he could be, again, I've said this about Kirk before, I think he could be very good like motivational speaker or like a politician or like a cult leader. He's just got, he's got that cheesy smile, that fake smile that a lot of people just fall for, right? Just, oh yeah, well, it's like, we see you. We see you. We see you. Okay. All right. Anyway. Okay. Cards are only 2 wins. Oh, really? I put in for the Hawks every year. Oh, wow. Damn. Sizzle. Need you to ask who I have here. Wait a minute. What? Need you to ask who I have here. What do you mean? I missed it. I'm sorry. What? 21 days. Oh, yeah, because you're Sag. That's right. Sun in Sagittarius. So are you December 1st? Or December? Yeah, you must be December 1st, 21 days if they play on the 22nd. That's cool. Oh, TD, you're Capricorn too. Nice. Yeah. Even less people care. I know. I say that stuff too, or like when I used to play fantasy football too, and be like, oh, well, my fantasy, nobody cares about anybody else's fantasy football team, right? Like nobody gives a shit. But yeah, no, I care. That's cool. But you guys know I'm all into the astrology as well. But yeah, you have a sun in Capricorn. Very good. All right. Nice. All right. So last 2 games here for the Vikings. Let me get my pen. So let's see. I had the Vikings losing at the Evil to the East. So I'm going to throw them another bone, and I'm going to give them the win when they host the Evil to the East, that being the Green Bay Packers. Now, to end the season at the Lions, it's like the Vikings usually either end the season with the Lions or the Bears. Maybe did they end though actually with the Packers last year? Well, it's obviously going to be a divisionary rival, but at the Lions, I am going to give the Vikings a big ol' L there. So funny enough, it really didn't like change the end. So now I got to retally everything, and just to make sure, redo. I got to make a note in my nerd notes. Okay. So let's see. I have the Vikings with, this is the wins now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Vikings coded. Seriously. And I just like went down the line. And then the losses, I must have 9 losses here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So I legit have the Vikings going 8-9. I think I had them going 8-9 last year. And what were they? What was their record at the end? I don't even remember last year. It was pretty similar. So once again, in typical Vikings fashion, it's going to be very close to even Steven. However, if they do end up 8-9, that being the Vikings, and let's say that JJ McCarthy plays a healthy amount of games. I don't think that's like considerably like that would be considered a bad season, right? With all the shifts and stuff taking place. And it's like the Vikings wanted to sit there and hem and haw about how this was a competitive rebuild. It's like, no, you were rebuilding from the beginning, okay? A huge mistake that they made was not getting rid of Kirk with Zimmer and Spielman. I mean, the Three Stooges, okay, the curtain call should have been at the same time. I feel like if they would have done that, they could have expedited this process a little bit sooner, but can't change it. So we don't have time machine. We can't go back. All right. So anywho, that's what I got, people. All right. We got that one. I have the Vikings again going 8-9. We'll see what happens. But if I can, I think I had my other notebook for last year. Oh my gosh. People, I turned the page right to my predictions from last year. You can't see it. No lie. I legit just turned it over and look at where my finger went. I had them going 9-8. Or no, I had them going 6-11. Okay, and I did this. I always date my nerd notes. I did the prediction on 5/21 of 2023. That is so funny, you guys. I literally opened right to it. That's so funny. Or did I? Oh, no, I had them going 9-8. I think originally when I went through, I had them going 6-11, but then I went through again and had them going 9-8. I had win versus Tampa, loss Eagles, win Chargers, win Carolina, lose Kansas City, Chicago, win 49ers, loss Green Bay, loss Falcons, win Saints, win Denver, loss Chicago, win. Week 13 was the bye. At Vegas, loss. At Bengals, loss. Lions, W. Evil, W. And then, yeah, they were at the Lions last year. I had them losing as well. So that's funny that I opened right to it. Very good. It's like, oh, I didn't have to look very far because my finger went right to it. I love that. That's fun. All right. What does everybody think? Vikings fans, what do you got? Megan, what do you have for Seattle? What do you have for their record this year? Have you done a prediction on their schedule? I'm assuming you probably did. But yeah, how do you guys feel about that? And seriously, the white uniforms, it's like, gag me with a spoon. Seriously. It's like, come on. Let's think of something more creative here. So I appreciate everybody joining. It was a fun stream. What time is it? Oh my gosh. It's 7:42. Before I sign off here, I am just going to peek over and see what's going on with Dallas and Boston here. And of course, it's on a commercial. Damn it! I guess I could go to Twitter. On my last stream, I went to Twitter to see if there was any Kevin Garnett news and got some terrible news about what was happening in Minneapolis at the time. Alrighty, let's see here. Can you just tell me the score? Okay. Twitter, come on. Just tell me the score. Dallas is up by 3, people. All right. And then it looks like Luka had 13 points in 12 minutes. I'm sick of him. Okay? I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. I don't like him. Just because of what he did in Minnesota. So, a lot closer game this evening. All right. Yeah, I did make mention of that. Man, I might have to go back. Well, we'll see at the end here. We'll see at the end. Again, I had Boston winning by a close one. So, we'll see. I do enjoy going back and seeing, even if I do get the predictions wrong. And actually, it's good to be able to go back when I do get them wrong, too. So, it's like, don't make that mistake again, but we'll see. Alrighty. What else do we got? And 2, it was the end of the first quarter for Boston and Dallas. But yeah, freaking Luka, 13 points in 12 minutes. Like, let me just get this out. He's a very good player. Very good player. But the attitude, I don't like it. Okay? I don't like it. And I don't like it. I don't like him. Over it. Okay? Whiner, crybaby. And that doesn't just go for him. Okay? That goes for a lot of players too. And also Karl Anthony Towns, huge crybaby. And I would love too, I've said this before, where a player, you get called for a foul, it would be really, really just like refreshing not to have said player be like, what? And then they go run over to, I need foul. Okay, fouls happen. All right? They do. Okay? It's like, yeah, it happens. Okay, people? It's just, I don't like it. It's just like, bleh. Kevin, what do you got? Minnesota nice doesn't apply to the transparency of those fat Kirk Cousins contracts. Oh, for sure. Yeah, too much honesty to placate so much that we lie to ourselves. Yeah, exactly. Are you comfy now, Kirk? It's like, how much money do you need to be comfy? Pizza Ranch boy, okay? Like, jeez. You're going to learn fast. Yeah, for sure. Wise words coming from Kevin. I agree. Oh, connection issues. We'll catch up soon. All good. Yes, thank you for joining. Overall, everybody, I appreciate y'all for joining. I'm going to sign off here, but it was fun. I hope to come back, and I would like to do another prediction too on at least the finals. I wanted to do the entire series, but I missed game one. So, but it's good practice for me. I like doing it, and it's also helpful too when I'm not a fan of either one of the teams too, because sometimes that gets in the way, but I need to learn to not let the fandom get in the way when I'm looking at the charts, because you got to stay as objective as possible. So it's the start of the second quarter here. Dallas 28, Boston 25. So they keeping it close. I'm still better about the Timberwolves last game, but it was a good season overall. And as far as the Vikings go, I guess I didn't touch on the Justin Jefferson contract. That was actually another thing that I wanted just to make mention of, because the Vikings finally got the deal done. I think, what is it, like $35 million a year? And it's like, okay, they're going all in on Justin Jefferson. I just feel like they could have traded him, and, because he's in his prime right now. But I see the reason to keep him, because he's a great player. You got young quarterback coming onto the team to learn from and play with. So, I mean, hopefully he just continues to ball out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the Vikings could have been in a really good position, especially with where they are as a team right now, to trade him. But they didn't trade him, and they kept him. And what is it? I think, is it 4 years or 5 years? Something like that. I'm actually going to look it up quick because it's bothering me. Justin Jefferson contract. Here we go. All right. Just reset the wide receiver market. It's like, of course, according to Google here, Justin Jefferson reset the wide receiver market and replaced San Francisco's 49ers edge rusher Nick Bosa as the NFL's highest paid non-quarterback in the process. The Minnesota Vikings, signed Jefferson to a 4-year, $140 million contract extension, averaging $35 million per year. All right. Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know. I just feel like they could have maybe really, especially with like the rebuilding that they're doing and tinkering around with the team, and they have Jordan Addison, like they could have really probably picked up some picks, maybe potentially some other wide receivers for cheaper and some picks, but they already did it. It's done and dusted. So we'll hope that, Justin Jefferson stays healthy and he has a good vibe with Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy and Nick Mullins, because they're still on the team too. So what if they give right? Yeah, what if they give Darnold 4 years? They could. I mean, I would like to see what Sam Darnold has. Like, I mean, as a Vikings fan, I don't expect JJ McCarthy to start the season. Like, I don't expect that. And I think it would be to the Vikings' benefit if they didn't, too, especially like if the Vikings do go on this like losing streak, let's just say, and you're middle of the season and you're not terrible, but you're not really, really, really good either. I don't know. I mean, keep them in there. Why rush the process too, especially with like injuries and things like that? And yeah, I mean, they got younger quarterbacks, right? There's usually not a lot of times where they just jump right in and are hella successful right away. Now, I could eat my words at some point in time, but that's just usually not the way it goes. But we'll see. We'll see. And yeah, like, what if Sam Darnold just completely balls out? Like, balls to the wall and like, whoa, hey, all right. That would actually be great. That would be great too, to have this young quarterback be able to just watch and learn. And hopefully Sam Darnold can be a good mentor and teacher, and Nick Mullins. And we'll see if Kevin O'Connell is just a coddler, a big old coddler, or if he's this actual, Robert Redford horse whisperer, quarterback whisperer that everybody's talking about. It's like, okay, they're talking about how he's this like quarterback mastermind or whatever. I'm still waiting to see it. Okay, I'm still waiting to see it because it seems like what he did with Kirk was, well, whatever we can do to make Kirk comfortable. Okay, so it's just like, I don't know. So maybe, and Kevin too just kind of seems like, well, I mean, he's younger, but like full on like dad mode. So it might work better to have a younger quarterback that potentially Kevin O'Connell could see more as like, the father figure kind of parental role. Whereas like with Kirk, they were so close to the same age where maybe it was a little bit more challenging for Kevin to be like, no, do this or whatever. Basically, JJ McCarthy's a little bit more moldable, right? So we'll see what the alleged quarterback whisperer, I'll believe it when I see it, can do. So anyway. All right. Nobody is really mentioning that with all our problems last year, our Vikings still went 4-0. And yeah, that's a good point, Kevin. That's actually a very good point. That's right. I totally forgot about that as well. Yeah. And it kind of, I mean, different, but like, because it didn't end up well for Alexander Madison, but kind of when Alexander Madison was stepping up when Dalvin Cook was injured, right? Towards the tail end of Dalvin Cook's career with Minnesota. Like, okay, we're still winning the games without you. So, sometimes you wonder too if like that star caliber of a player is maybe more of a hindrance too, because it's like, well, we got to make sure that they get the ball and they stay happy. So I do kind of see a little bit of that, like, I don't want to say like maybe the wide receiver antics, or like, I get they want to be throwing the ball. They want to make these big plays too, and it's a job. So it is all about the money, and I don't want to throw out the word selfish by any means, because I don't think Justin Jefferson is a selfish player. And at the end of the day, you gotta, it's one for all, right? But I don't know, there's still a little bit of a vibe there that I didn't necessarily care for when all this stuff was kind of going down. And I mean, Justin Jefferson's a good player, but I think he definitely wants to, have like the fame, the notoriety, and like be under the spotlight a lot too. Where, some people are just like quietly good, right? Like the spotlight gravitates towards them. And that does happen for Jefferson, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of a little bit of a bad taste there, but we'll see. We'll see. And like Kevin said here, with the injury as well. So yeah, I don't know. I just hope that this isn't going to be kind of like another instance where like the Vikings should have traded Dalvin Cook a lot sooner. They could have gotten more for him too, but we'll see. We'll see. What else you got, Kevin? Save as much salary cap room as you can, then strike when the iron's hot, when a golden opportunity for a trade or an acquisition presents itself. Yes, I completely agree with you. Great show today, Jade. Thank you. Keep up the good work, my friend. Oh, thanks, Kevin. I appreciate that. Always good to see you. But yeah, it's been a fun stream. I've really enjoyed talking with you all. It's always good to see everybody too. It's good to see everybody, but especially some peeps that we haven't seen in a minute. But long time is like no time anyway. But appreciate y'all. Let me just peek at the score quick here before I prance on out of here. Well, looky. Now Boston is up by 1 point. So, all right. So far, halfway through the second quarter, it does kind of look like the chart's kind of doing what I thought. I did think that it was going to be a lot more closer affair. Dallas being a little bit more scrappy. I mean, I haven't watched, but by the score, trying to kind of tell that they maybe have been. But again, I have the Vikings going 8-9. And I have Boston winning tonight by like 1 to 2 points. Pretty close. Megan said 3 points max too, which I definitely agree with there. So we'll see how everything plays out, but it's been fun. And like I said, I hope to do at least, if not the rest of the NBA Finals series, because I would really like to do that, at least one other game too. So, and then too, just a heads up, if you're not aware, I do have another channel, Tarot with Jade. I have not posted on that channel in like 2 years, but I'm actually working on getting back over on that channel too, but I will keep y'all posted if you're interested in that. More tarot card readings and like astrology stuff over there. But anywho, it's been really fun, you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you again. Appreciate you joining, just putting that there. And until next time, yeah, I will see you later. Thanks, Soda. Appreciate that. Thank you. That's very nice. TD, what do you got there? A horse. I really love it. We love the animal friends. And just on the horse front, I was just saying the other day, I would love to go horseback riding. I haven't been horseback riding in a couple of years. So fun. So, yeah. All right. And two, everybody, if you haven't listened to Buddy Guy or Samantha Fish, seriously, go check them out. And like Samantha Fish, I mean, both of them, I saw them play on Friday. Buddy Guy, like an absolute legend, 87 years old, still touring, playing guitar. And then Samantha Fish, I was completely blown away. Just like, whoa, so talented. So if you guys like blues and stuff like that and, you know, really good guitar players, go check out Buddy Guy and Samantha Fish. So, all right. All right. Panda Lives are up. Am I saying that right? Oh, I love seeing the people from Twitch come over too. I mean, I love everybody that comes over, but you know, the Twitchers are few and far between. And funny that I was just talking about Buddy Guy. Thanks for your time and work. I appreciate that. Thank you. Keep it up. You are worth more than you know. I wish you the best in life. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is very nice of you. That is very, very nice. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I take that to heart. And that's a really nice one to end on. But you guys are all lovely. I appreciate you all. And hopefully I'll see you next time. And yeah, I'll keep you posted. Hoping to do game 3 and then some more Viking stuff obviously to come. But all right, it's been fun, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday or Monday, wherever you are. And you have a great week.